When did I realize I was accidentally marrying the wrong husband? My parents set me up with an arranged marriage to a man I had never met because our family needed the money and he needed a green card. He lived overseas and couldn't come until the wedding. My parents were too busy working double shifts to help me plan, so I was on my own. My childhood best friend Caleb had just gotten laid off and offered to help since he knew me better than anyone. I said yes because I needed the help, but looking back, I should have seen it coming from the very first coffee. Every morning, Caleb and I would meet at a cafe to go over wedding details, and my coffee was always waiting before I even got there. Oat milk, half sugar, extra hot. I never once told him how I liked it. When I asked how he knew, he said, "I pay attention," in this soft voice that made me forget what I was going to say next. I caught myself staring at him and had to remind myself I was engaged to someone else. At the cake tasting, he slid a plate toward me and said, "Try this one, Lemon, you'll love it," and he was right because he remembered from a conversation years ago. When I reached for a sample, our fingers touched and I pulled my hand back too fast, feeling guilty for how much I wanted to reach back. I tried to video call my fiancé to tell him about the tasting, but he declined and texted that he was busy. He just sent a thumbs up emoji when I told him we chose lemon, and I stared at that stupid emoji, feeling something hollow in my chest. The barista at our usual cafe asked us when our wedding was, and Caleb said, "Next month," without even flinching. My face burned the entire walk home because I couldn't stop thinking about why he answered like that or why I didn't correct her. I was supposed to be planning a wedding to another man, and here I was wishing Caleb's answer had been true. While my fiancé only called once a week for visa paperwork, Caleb spent every weekend at my grandmother's house learning her recipes. When he finally got the dumpling fold right, he said, "Did you see that? I actually did it," with so much pride in his eyes. I had to leave the room because I was terrified he would see what I was feeling. My fiancé didn't even know my grandmother's name. At the venue tasting, Caleb pulled out my chair with his hand on my back for 1 second, and I felt that touch through my dress all night. During dress shopping, the saleswoman asked Caleb what he wanted for our first dance, and he said, "Nothing too long because she always trips on long dresses," before his face turned red. The saleswoman said, "You two have that look, the one real love gives people." Neither of us spoke the entire drive home because I was scared of what might come out. My fiancé texted asking for dress photos just for the immigration file, and Caleb texted asking if he should stop helping. I stared at both messages, knowing one made me feel like a transaction, and one made me feel like I was about to ruin everything. Then my grandmother had a stroke, and I called my fiancé first, because that's what you're supposed to do. He said he was sorry, but couldn't miss his visa appointment and hung up before I could respond. I sat there realizing the man I was supposed to marry just hung up on me while my grandmother was dying. I texted Caleb, and he was there within the hour, holding my hand in the waiting room without saying anything. My grandmother woke up and grabbed both our hands while looking right at Caleb. "You take care of my girl because I see how she looks at you and how you look at her," she said. I wanted to deny it, but I couldn't because she was right. "Promise me," she said, squeezing his hand. "I promise I'll always take care of her," he said without hesitating. I have to leave the room because I can't breathe. I sit in the hallway and everything I have been running from hits me at once. I am in love with Caleb. We are stuffing envelopes in silence the next time I see him until he stops and looks at me. "Are you happy?" he asks, and I know this is the moment where everything either breaks or stays broken forever. I called off the wedding that night and drove to Caleb's apartment at midnight. Before I could knock, the door opened because he was already waiting just like he always was.